Hey everyone, how's it going? Well, this is going to be a pretty interactive talk because when I was giving this, when I was told, hey, you can talk at the AWS Startups Loft at Collision, I was like, great, I'll talk about AI. That's something I know. No one knows about AI. No one is talking about it. This is like probably 5 months ago, and now everyone and their mother knows what AI is. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT. My mom last week was asking me, oh, how do I start using ChatGPT so I can write better messages to people? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. Just Google it. I'm a little nervous. So I've never publicly spoke like this, so sorry. It might take me a second. Oh, my notes are here. Great. Hey everyone, my name is Vivek Bhakta, and I'm one of the co-founders of Wombo, a generative AI media company. Okay, so welcome to my talk. The next unicorn built with AI, but you probably already knew that. The reason I say that was how many of you guys have talked about AI or heard of AI talk today? How many of you guys actively use AI? Not everyone? What are you guys using? Just shout it out. Dream, ChatGPT. That's all? Google Maps? No? Okay, well anyways. I'm like shaking. So can I get a show of hands from the audience here? How many of you guys are students? No students? Developers? Developers? Investors? Founders? What are the rest of you guys doing? This is not a very lively audience. You're making it hard up here. I'm sweating bullets. Whew. I don't have to tell you guys what AI can do, right? Okay, here we go. Oh no. According to a recent survey, 56% of organizations are already using AI to make business decisions. AI can transform the way you work and do day-to-day activities. I'm not here to talk to you about how AI is going to take over your job or take over the world. That's for a later discussion. I'm here to talk about this. But actually, AI is getting increasingly useful and practical and extremely easy to use. Today, you can figure out problems that you don't know anything about just simply by asking ChatGPT or another LLM. You can get massive productivity gains and kind of understandings of new technologies that you've never heard of or used before. How many of you guys have heard of something called Slurm? Slurm, it's like a Linux resource management something, and I have no clue about it, but I asked ChatGPT last night, how do I start using Slurm? Because we need to it's like used in HPC workloads, and it was very easy to start just asking questions, and then instead of just reading a blog about Slurm, you can now just prompt the LLM to be like, okay, now tell me more. Okay, how does it differ from Docker? How does it differ from Kubernetes? What sort of limitations are there for Slurm versus another version of orchestration? So you have a lot easier access to information at a more granular detail. You don't need to go find 30 different articles about Slurm or read the documentation. You can straight up just ask your question. So you save time and money, resources, and so you're able to easily build whatever you want to build with less people involved and less time involved. So now I want to talk about who am I and why you should maybe try and take what I say without as much grains of salt. So this is me. I'm Vivek. You saw this earlier. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I'm a prompt engineer, and I like to tinker a lot, and I'm deeply curious. Today I manage a bunch of engineers at Wombo, and I want to give you a little background. When ChatGPT came out back in November or December of this year, I was very hesitant to use it because I was scared. I was scared that it was gonna make me a worse developer. I was scared that I wasn't gonna understand how to do anything, and that, just like the couple slides ago, I was saying it was gonna take over my job. I was in real fear. And then I realized there's actually no point to be scared. Tools like this are gonna come around, and it's only gonna get better and better. And if we're not leveraging it, that's what's gonna make me fall behind. If I don't leverage AI, 10 other different co-founders are gonna be using it, and they're gonna beat us. And so the thing that really matters is, I know with enterprise it's a different question, but with startups you do what you have to do to get ahead. And in enterprise, people are probably considering, should I be putting my company data into LLMs? And again, that's different talk, not this talk. This is geared more towards people like in the startup realm. And so basically my one thing here is, let's not be scared of AI, because no matter what's gonna happen is gonna happen. Now, you can either try and build some AI to help solve that, but I'm not recommending you build an AI company or anything like that. Build whatever you're building and continue building what you're building. Just use AI to make your life easier. And I don't want to sound like these guys. I don't know if you guys have seen this on the internet. If you guys use Twitter, you'll see people telling you like, oh my God, you're using ChatGPT wrong. You should prompt it like this, this, and this. Yeah, that's great. But before you even get to this, you need to start using it. And the biggest thing for me was use it. And I don't want to be this guy for sure. Okay, so we're talking about ChatGPT. Why are we talking about an LLM? Who cares like that it's an LLM? And why is it good? Well, it's not always good, right? Like, take a look. 1 + + = 3. Oh, you're right, my bad. So it's not always perfect, but you know what? There's a little acronym called, it is what it is, and this is what we have, and so we should leverage it. We don't have like access to better technology, and this is free. And so why aren't we using it? And again, when I planned this talk, ChatGPT wasn't as big as it is today. So yeah. So what's the difference between searching and prompting? With Google, I don't know how many of you guys use Google. Probably not all of you, right? But when you ask Google a question like, hey, why? Okay, something I just asked the other day was CUDA driver errors. So I'm trying to install some stuff on NVIDIA GPU. I can go to Google and prompt for CUDA driver errors, which will get me like somewhere, or I can just copy paste my actual error, paste into Google. Sometimes you'll have a really long error, and then Google will just say no results found. And that's the worst. But imagine now you just take that same error message and you put it into like an LLM, like ChatGPT. You'll get a detailed understanding and explanation of, hey, what's going on. And so one, I guess, side tangent to talk about here is what is prompting, and like why do you have to be good at it? So how do you make the most use out of an LLM like ChatGPT is being able to ask it the right questions. The beauty of ChatGPT is you don't need to be really good at prompting. Like on Google search, it pays a lot to know how to ask the right question. Because if you're like, oh, how do I make a for loop? Or you say, how do I iterate over a list? You'll get way better answers than if you say, how do I go through a list? Right? I don't know how many developers. Looks like you guys are engaging. Okay. And so yeah, you're just now, instead of prompting directly on Google, you can just ask ChatGPT and it can go search Google for you. And then here's a quick case study that I had. This is a website called Kerbit.xyz. One of my buddies is a self-proclaimed hacker. He never finished school. He dropped out of college. He has like 1 year under his belt. And he was able to build this website that's a full stack Web3 application that takes crypto and fiat payments, was able to deploy a smart contract and deploy a Shopify store in 1 week using ChatGPT. This guy knows nothing about crypto smart contracts, about Shopify, about web development. He's a backend engineer. And he was able to build this app, and I'll show you it on the next screen. He built this website with 3D rotating shirt designs and different sizing, your cart, your checkout. You have your ETH checkout there, you have your dollars checkout there. And he built this all in 1 week with the help of an AI assistant. And so my question to you guys is, what are you going to build? You have access to all this information. Thanks. Any questions?